Hello and welcome to this multi-part series of coronavirus messages, channelings from the other realms, the other side. I hope these touch you deeply and help inspire you to be the most you can be during this challenging time. Monday, March 23rd. Now, this is an attention to grid workers. So not everyone will receive this for themselves, but be open to the information. This is a different angle. This is another piece. And I did get a vision of this. There's a wonderful woman, if you're into the higher planes, the galactic energies, the galactic beings. Her name is Vivian Chavette. She's on Facebook. She does live things on Facebook, and her last one is recorded, and it's there for us to go back and do a journey. And it was a beautiful journey that she did. And my group, my Council of Light team, took me on this journey, and I retrieved a cobalt blue crystal. It was an incredible vision. She led us to a chamber, and then I had my own experience, and I literally took my hand and reached out. I was laying on the floor in the living room and going through this chamber in her guidance, in the imagery that she gave, and I put my hand out, and my blue cobalt crystal flew into my hand. And I walked into that chamber, and there were beings there that I knew from other timelines. It was a huge reunion. It was beyond, and it was so real and tangible. And then I got instructions about that crystal. And this is the grid work. This is the grid work part that many of us may want to be part of. And this is part of that huge meditation that will be going on Saturday the 4th, April 4th, that worldwide meditation that you've seen floating around the internet. Even though I don't know if grid work was in that, but the energies of the grid workers will be activating really strongly on that day. I've already been doing it on a daily basis. So I'm going to read this message, and then you receive what works for you and see if you have a calling. Maybe you are a grid worker and you just don't know it. That has come up in my groups. There have been grid workers that did not know they were, and I did pick them out of the crowd, and I did tell them that they were grid workers. Some of them are very young. One of them was only, and actually this was in Colorado Springs. The one young guy was probably 21, I think. Extremely young. And well, there are younger ones too. That wasn't extremely young. There are others. So let me read this part, and we'll see how you receive this. It is with great pleasure that we reunited visually with you yesterday. You did get to reclaim your cobalt crystal, as you will be utilizing its power at this time and carrying that in your field for multiple reasons. First, it acts as a shield. The energy it holds was used by you and others through many timelines to ward off some of the lower entities that were attempting to rid some of us from those timelines. You were, even though you do not consciously remember, part of many battles and wars of good and evil. You are aware of the existence of many beings that do not follow the light and could care less for the betterment of whatever timeline and situation they find themselves. They are truly alive and exist to stop the flow of evolution of whatever culture they find themselves. We know this sounds so childish at this point of evolution, but our agreement was to allow all beings to learn, evolve, and grow at their own pace, and to eventually be in unison with the original plan of peace on earth. Now take that in for a minute. The original plan of peace on earth, good and evil, dark and light. And breathe in very clearly who you are and what you stand for, because this is where we're at. This is the turning point. And there are those that some of you know that we have met and we have spoken about at length that are not part of this light. Make a decision. What side are you on and who do you hang with? And commit to that only. No one is responsible to hold somebody's hand and bring them to the light. They have to choose. And any of the fakes, frauds, and phonies that have been pretending to be part of something grand and amazing and then stabbing you in the back need to go. They need to be out of your life, and they do not need you spending one moment of your precious divine time doing anything with them. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I am crystal clear on this. Take it or leave it. You all have your own free will. You can do whatever you want. I have made some very emphatic choices since last year. We know this sounds so childish at this point of evolution, but our agreement was to allow all beings to learn, evolve, and grow at their own pace, and to eventually be in unison with the original plan of peace on earth. This phrase encompasses so much more than those 3 words. We went over some of this in your last transmission as to the promises that have been made to humanity through you and others that are open to receive from this level. This is truly only a transitional point. Each of those in your alive soul group are witnessing something you have been waiting for this entire timeline. We know how trite that sounds, but know this: when the dust settles and the many sweeping changes have been put into place, you will experience the best part of this timeline. Yes, we are not teasing you. There is more, so much more, and you know how much I fight them over this one, because I'm wanting to see the more. So what will you do in the meantime of preparing, resting, receiving messages, and simple living? You stay in the super calm, collected, and simply move through each day like a slow-moving snail. Now, this might just be for me, but I know I have slowed down to an extreme and feel like I move like a snail. So that might not be for all of you. You maintain determination with steady, deliberate movement like a cat or a stealth airplane. We want you to have fun with this as you continue to carry so much that you have agreed to be and share on this planet. You have only just begun, baby. We know. How can we be so silly? Well, first, we aren't living in your dimension. But we also know where all this is headed. That is what we wish you to hold on to. Take time to receive the visions of the future for yourself and the planet. Bring those visions to the now. Now, this we have to take some time on. They want us to call them in to our reality, to use our crystalline power, and I'm to hold the cobalt blue crystal up like I was the Statue of Liberty holding the torch. Energize that crystal to send out that frequency and connect to all others who have retrieved their crystal and are receiving this same message. You are all conductors and will all connect another energetic grid that was shut down so long ago and brings the highest frequencies to the physical earth and all its inhabitants. Yes, this is real, and yes, this will be felt by the masses. This massive change in frequency will assist millions around the planet to get clear, to be thrown out of their foggy stupor, and to begin to think so clearly and differently, it will literally feel like they were reborn. So the vision, getting back to what Vivian Chavette did with the vision of the chamber and retrieving the crystal, this is the continuation of that. So I have seen this new layer of grid work. When I hold the crystal up and I see my crystal connecting to the grid work, I have been calling on all the other crystal holders that they awaken, that they also retrieve their crystal, and that they connect to this higher frequency grid. And you'll notice this grid is for everyone. These frequencies, you have to realize that this transition is for all of humanity. It's not just for the light workers. It's not just for the healers. It's for everybody. It's so everybody can be the most that they can be and stop living in this less than unworthy position. And many of the light workers carry that too. We cannot carry that lie anymore. And the only reason we do is because we have way too many lifetimes and connected timelines where the shit hit the fan and we paid for it. But we have to consciously release that. That is not what we want to bring forward. We want to bring forward the light and the power and the healing, and we want everybody to rejoice in the truth. That's what we want. That's what we collectively want. And that's what we should be sharing. So when somebody says something that's not in alignment with the truth, we can say, excuse me, that's not really what I believe, and I know better. And you can share the piece that you know, or if it's not received, you can turn around and walk away. But I will tell you, you'll be called to do this in somewhat awkward moments. And if you stay calm and clear, you can just say it and then walk away. I've done this many, many times. I have said things and I just walk away. I'm not attached. I don't care how people receive me anymore. It doesn't matter. I'm here to be me. And I love that you guys would receive it and grow and have testimony and have great things. But that's not my responsibility. And that's not what I focus on. My focus is on this, is to bring this. And hopefully it does touch lives and people do move forward. That's my intention, but I have no control over that. Remember, this is getting back to the fog and helping people as they connect to the higher frequencies. Remember, this fog was created deliberately and can no longer remain and will not be supported by any of us in the upper realms. This is the continued breakdown and building up that is occurring now while you are living on the planet. So without hesitation, take your crystal and verify you are carrying it at all times in your field. Now remember, my crystal is in the etheric, so this is what this refers to. But if you have real crystals and work with those, that's fine. But I retrieved a crystal on another dimensional plane. Visualize the beam ray that emanates from it and send it out in all directions to connect to the others. Assist with complete support to build this new web of electromagnetics that will assist in the awakening of so many. Do not be afraid of this power, nor the changes it will trigger. This will be part of the most fantastic physical experience you have had during this timeline. You have planned this. You are ready. Just allow all the greatness to be manifest for you and all who will receive. Many blessings and continued perfect health on your journey. Oh, and you can go shopping. Just don't get too close to anyone. That was a personal question I had because I didn't know if I was allowed to leave the house.